Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Living Well with Kate. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite get well tonics. It's called fire cider. So fire cider is a combination of some spicy ingredients but all wellness focused. We have onion, we have ginger, we have some turmeric root, some garlic, some horseradish root, and some lemon. So this is all going to be grated and put into this jar to ferment with apple cider vinegar for about 6 weeks, taking little shots. It's the best thing to get you well. Let me show you how to make it. So when making fire cider, it's pretty simple. You just cut up the ingredients and let them sit, and the vinegar will pretty much do the rest of the cooking for you. So the first thing I like to do is the lemon. So whenever you're going to cut a lemon, you always want to roll out the lemon to release the juices. And because I'm going to let it sit in here, I'm going to just take off the sticker. At the end, once everything is fermented as well, you're going to just strain everything with a cheesecloth. So if you want to be a little bit lazy with cutting, which we always know that I am, it's okay. This is the time. So I'll just take off the ends, and then I'm going to leave it in thin, kind of like chunkier slices like this. And I'm like, look how juicy that is. Beautiful. So I've been making fire cider now once fall hits for the past 5 years. What I like to do is I put it into little jars and I give it to people I love. I give it to clients because you know my message, we're all about here to live well. So anything that I can do to support that or inspire that or share that with the people closest to me, I try and do. So now we got the lemon in. The next I'll do the onion. So the onion, again, it can kind of be a lazy chop. We're just gonna wanna make sure to take the exterior, kind of like the paper off. So this one, I'll just do big slices like this. We're not cooking this for aesthetics or anything, so I'm a huge advocate of the lazy chop. The cool thing about fire cider is that you can kind of mix it up. Like if you want to use black pepper, if you want to use some hot peppers, you can use some cinnamon. You can kind of get a little bit creative with what your body needs. If spicy isn't the #1 thing for you, yeah, cinnamon would be a really good additive. Next, we'll do the garlic, because the rest of it is going to be grated. I do my best to get the skin off, but it's, you know, ginger and turmeric, you can kind of see by the bendy shapes. It's really hard to be able to like skin it proper. Sometimes I'll use a spoon, but I think grating will be the easiest. So this is how I like to break apart garlic. You can kind of just, to get the skins off, I just like to make it easy for myself, and then you can kind of move them to the side. In Chinese medicine, these type of ingredients are doing activity. What it's called is releasing your exterior. So it's going to induce a sweat. It's going to help you to get rid of toxins, and it's going to build up your defense system. And especially during this time of the year, when all of a sudden the seasons are changing, the atmospheric pressure, we're more susceptible to getting sick. So we want to do everything we can to build up our immunity defenses without the help of antibiotics, unless you need them. But I'm not here for that. I would much rather build up my immune system with whole activities like these. So we've got all of our garlic. It calls for 10 cloves. I think we had probably around 10, maybe 11. So now we'll do the turmeric, and you can see, oh, it's this beautiful turmeric root is my absolute favorite. Be careful, it stains. So this is just ginger root. Ginger root is awesome. In Chinese medicine, it is known as ginseng or shengjiang. It's known to tonify your yang and to also, like I said, raise your wei qi. And it also helps to build your essence. So as time keeps rolling, that's one of the #1 things we're gonna wanna do to be able to fight signs of aging or to keep our cellular health intact. Amongst women, do a little bit more of him. We'll save this one for smoothie. So I'm gonna try, just because horseradish is super tough, you can almost see it looks like tree bark. I'm gonna try and get a little bit of the skin off before I grate it, while not cutting myself. There we go. I think this will just make it a little bit easier. Boy, is it a workout. Safety is first. We don't want to grate the skin. So this is some grated horseradish. Real spicy. I love it. So we're just gonna slide it on in. Aromatically, insane right now. Just the way it's creeping up my nose. And I feel it in the back of my eyes, in case you were wondering. Now that all of our ingredients are in, you're gonna wanna blend it throughout. So the last part, we're gonna add our apple cider vinegar. So this should be enough. The main thing that you're gonna wanna do is make sure that everything is covered and submerged. I could go with just one, but because I have a lot of friends and a lot of loved ones, I'm gonna fill up the second. I like to keep these jars because I'll actually fill them up with the fire cider and use them as a way to recycle and just give back. You're gonna wanna use an airtight container. Even though this isn't metal, I still like to put a piece of parchment paper over the top while it ferments. So, lock it in tight, and pretty much we'll let this sit for around 4 to 6 weeks. I like to do 6 weeks so it gets really saturated, and then we'll give it a try. Okay guys, we have been patiently waiting for 6 weeks for this to ferment, and it is finally done. When you take the tonic, you could just pour out like a little shot because it's gonna be so potent. And you could take it as needed. I like to take it during the fall season, the winter season. I'll take it a couple times a week and take as needed. You can also put it with a little bit of hot water and drink it like a tea. Let's see how I did. Bottoms up. Whew. So hot. Fire cider does not get its name by mishap. It's definitely extremely hot, extremely spicy. You feel all of the pores open all over your body, but in the best way possible. Like, I've never been healthier. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Living Well with Kate. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make fire cider. Fermenting is one of the easiest things to do in the kitchen. You just chop, set, and wait. And with this holiday season coming up, I want everyone to live well, live their best. Thank you so much for joining me again. If you like what I'm talking about, subscribe to my page below. Always remember, when you live better, you live well. I'll see you next time.